One of the most painful parts of relationship OCD isn't actually the anxiety, it's the confusion. Not knowing what's real and what isn't. Not knowing whether what you're feeling is a genuine signal about your relationship or just OCD doing what it does best. You can feel stuck in this constant state of doubt, going round and round in your head, analyzing your feelings, your partner, your past, your future. And the worst part is that it feels incredibly convincing. It doesn't feel like, just thoughts. It feels like you're uncovering something very important. What makes this even harder is that relationships don't come with certainty. There's no final feeling that you can reach that proves that everything is right forever. But OCD desperately wants that certainty, so it turns your relationship into a problem to be solved rather than something to be lived and enjoyed. You start checking how you feel, comparing yourself to others, replaying moments, scanning for attraction or connection, all in the hope that clarity will finally arrive. And before I go on, if you'd like to find out more about my program for OCD and anxiety, you can by heading over to my website, robertjamescoaching.com. The key thing to understand here with relationship OCD is this confusion. The confusion itself isn't a sign that your relationship is wrong. It's a sign that OCD has pulled you into its kind of thinking trap. And one of the reasons this confusion feels so unbearable is because OCD convinces you that you must figure this out before you can start living your life properly again, before you can relax, before you can enjoy time with your partner, and before you can make any kind of commitment whatsoever. So you wait for the doubt to go or for the right feeling to arrive. And you end up putting your life on hold. But the problem is, the more you try to kind of think your way to certainty, the further away that certainty is. Your nervous system stays on high alert, your emotions stay blocked, and everything starts to feel flat, forced, or wrong, which then seems to kind of confirm your worst fears. And this is the really important part. Confusion is not clarity trying to emerge. It's what happens when anxiety and overthinking are actually running the show. When you're constantly monitoring your inner world, you lose access to the natural signals that come from simply being present and engaged. And that's why relationship OCD can feel so convincing. Not because the relationship is wrong, but because OCD has turned your attention inward and turned the volume up on doubt. Learning to step out of that mental struggle is where real change starts. For me, really what this involved was learning how to stop analyzing that sense of love and attraction, to realize that the very thing that I was trying to do, which was to have more certainty, was the very thing that was keeping me stuck in the trap. When I learned actually that I could just be present in the relationship, whilst that doubt was there, I could actually just show up and be with my partner, do my best to be with her and spend time with her and, try to let go of how I was feeling or, telling myself that I had to feel a specific way. Instead, I just tried to be as present as I could. And when I did that, when I stopped putting so much pressure on it, lo and behold, often I began to enjoy myself despite myself. And one tip that I have for people is, if you find yourself in this situation, see if you can actually pause and say to yourself, I'm going to suspend any judgment about the relationship for a specific amount of time, maybe for a week or 2 weeks. You're going to do your very best to let go of all of that judgment, to stop trying to figure it out all the time, and instead just try to live your relationship more. Allow yourself to be a bit more. You may find that when you stop ruminating all the time and you come more into the present moment, you really try to focus on activities that you're doing with her, or just simply being more in the present with that person. You may find that just by doing that, it gives you a kind of sense of freedom, from this perspective. And, despite yourself, you might find that sense of connection that you've been looking for so forcefully just begins to show up of its own accord when we stop demanding that it should be there. And if you're struggling with this, I do have a 12-week program to help you to break free. The link's in the show note. I really hope that you enjoyed. If you have any questions at all, do please let me know, and I will see you next time. This video is for education only. It's not therapy or medical advice. If you're struggling, please speak with a licensed mental health professional.